Kino's journey is the most well-executed anime I have ever seen. That is something I wish to say wholeheartedly, but sadly, only pertains to a portion of the series. The initial 5 episodes are near perfect, but soon after the series stumbles. There are moments of elevation, intermittently throughout the journey, where the story can ascend back towards the heights it fell from. But there are also many moments of disappointment and unimportance. How do you quantify something which feels so powerful and mature only half the time? Its uncharacteristic lows are amplified by the absolutely absurd peaks the series propels itself to. Let's start with the positives. Kino's journey is mature. It is quiet, it is mellow, it is methodical. There is an unmatched depth just below the surface. Yet it also feels quaint and simple. The unique filter across the screen, reminiscent of VHS tapes, adds a wonderful vintage vibe to the series. It feels aged in the most positive way. The art is plain and unintrusive, with much of the journey feeling like it was captured within a picture book, adding credence to the fable of Kino's journey. This series feels academic. It is so powerful and drips with significance, yet it pairs this with the calming and simple nature of a traveler's journey. Having Hermes be a motorrad allows for Kino to have a companion on her quest while simultaneously keeping things feeling solitary, exploring the world on her own volition without a specific destination, purpose, or endpoint. The many subtle, earthy tones, with countless browns and dark greens layered on top of each other, provide a very rustic and hearty feel. The series is realistic both in tone and imagery. It does not hold anything back. It is about the journey and experience in the world, so doing so would be counterintuitive. Death is part of life and part of man. It is not hidden from the viewer, and in some cases, it even draws specific attention to it. I truly respect this decision as it makes the series feel unfiltered, honest and unafraid to show the harsher sides of society. No matter how far you travel, you can never escape greed, death, and pain. Kino's journey is not naive, but it isn't cynical either. Most people Kino meets on her journey do not have any ill intent. Many are caring and kind. But Kino isn't oblivious. She carries a pistol on her hip, despite avoiding conflict, as she knows there will undoubtedly be confrontation on her travels. And in order to keep her journey going, she has become an excellent marksman. She is self-sufficient and able to hold her own if things do become violent. Kino avoids conflict to the best of her ability, only committing to killing when it is absolutely necessary. And the fact that Kino does have to end lives on her journey amplifies the realism and adds meaning to her character. Kino's weapon management and discipline exemplify her methodical nature. The very first episode expertly expresses Kino's character with the simple act of drawing her weapon. At night, when most are sleeping, indulging in rest, she is working. She is practicing. This is what makes it believable when she outclasses others on the battlefield. She puts in hours on hours throughout the series practicing her quick draw, all to ensure that she can protect herself and extend her journey. Unfortunately, episodes 6 and 7 exacerbate this aspect of her character through overuse and hyperbolization. The Colosseum two-parter focuses so heavily on Kino's ability to fight and best others in combat that it felt generic, like any shonen you have ever seen. The villain was cartoonish in their evil ways, and the twist of one entrant being the king's son was blatantly obvious. It lost the nuance. It lost the maturity. Things felt so unimpressive, and in such stark contrast to the 5 episodes prior. Kino's abilities are believable because of the practice we get shown, but watching her dismantle elite assassins without any chance of being injured felt so immature and uninspired. There are situations during her travels where Kino fights uphill battles and wins, the greatest of all being in episode 2. Kino finds herself in an extremely difficult situation, being held at gunpoint by 3 men. She is able to outclass them, but what makes this work is how she reacts after. She begins to shake, telling Hermes that it was a close call. There is a degree of fear, a believability from the audience, and Kino herself that she really could have died back there, that it could have been the end. This incident amplifies the maturity and realism of the series through its refusal to be cliché. Kino does not hold back. These men already betrayed her once. They showed their willingness to end her life. They can snap back to that version of themselves without hesitation. So leaving them to live would be beyond foolish. She doesn't hesitate for more than a second and puts the nail in these 3 men's coffins. Episode 8 was an updraft the series used to ascend from its previous fall. It was a simple yet effective story about following your dreams. Unfortunately, episodes 9, 10, and 11 don't feel complete. They were missing something, missing what made Kino's journey so special, as if half their message was planned out without a proper conclusion. They were not substantial enough when standing next to the Goliaths of episodes 1 through 5. Episode 12 was a resurgence of the series' strength. It was a jagged rock breaking through the softer aspects of the series, with depressing depictions of war and self-preservation through hurting others. This was mature and nuanced, housing the gray that comes from covering a complicated and contentious concept. When shown the gruesome and heinous acts the two countries commit towards the indigenous people, Kino pushes back. She fervently opposes war and the methods used to accomplish this hollow peace. She knows she can't convince the country to change, so she moves on. The rejection of the explanation, but the inability to make a difference. This is such a realistic take on life and leans harder on the futility of your actions. There will be times where you want to change something, but you simply cannot. This is not a pill many of us want to swallow, but it is true. Once again, exemplifying the unfiltered honesty of Kino's journey. The series trusts that you can handle that you're mature enough to realize when to push through a situation, when to continue forward and follow your dreams, and when to move on. And the finale of Kino's journey ties all of these lessons together with the perfect bow. The ending of Kino's journey saved it. It was a roller coaster of emotions which ended right where it began, because Kino's journey is out of order. I love that the series never explains or draws attention to this. If it goes unnoticed, the series is still satisfying, but if the viewer connects the dots, the experience is heightened beyond belief. And the smoking gun in this case, illustrating the series' shattered structure, is Kino's woodsman. She receives this persuader in the final episode, yet this pistol is the very same she drew in episode 1 while practicing her quick draw. This is the very same pistol she had on her back when the three men ambushed her, and this is the pistol that elevated Kino's journey to magnificence. It is a tangible object which can be used to map the timeline, and in nearly every episode, Kino has it holstered to the back of her hip, meaning that the ending of the series is actually the beginning. It's poetic that Kino's journey will truly never conclude, even with its final episode. This finale also houses an immense amount of weight. No matter how many times I watch it, Sakura's final message always brings me to tears. This kind girl simply wanted to show the world how wonderful her town had become. She wanted to express the love she had for it and achieve her dream of becoming a tour guide. But sadly, molten earth stood in her way. This moment was immensely shocking. Kino, this character who is normally so relaxed and easygoing, displays each and every painful emotion plainly on her face. The pure fear, sadness, shock, and trauma is overwhelming. How could this happen? Why didn't they run? Then, she finds Sakura's note. The note explaining that she knew she would die, but she stayed anyway, because this was the town she loved. This is where her journey would end. However, she did have one final request for Kino: to live on and remember her and the town she cared so deeply for. And this is where the second element of the finale finally showed itself. This is where doubt is amplified. Across her journey, there have been subtle seeds of doubt sowed in the viewer's mind, moments of uncertainty about the adventure, about whether or not what we are seeing is truly real. With the inconsistent timeline, the land of books, and the cryptic desert segments, the viewer's beliefs have been challenged, and Sakura cemented this uncertainty. Sakura's life is a clear parallel to Kino's. They both shared the name of a flower, their parents were innkeepers, and they both met a traveler named Kino with their companion Hermes. When you begin to look at the bigger picture, it's easy to imagine that Kino's own memories are fake. Her memories are shown to be hazy, where she isn't even able to remember who the original Kino was. Or is the reason she can't remember because she never met him? What if, in honoring Sakura's request, she held onto her memories so tightly that she confused them for her own? With her backstory almost being one-to-one with Sakura's and her inability to remember things clearly, it starts to seem much more credible, especially as we've been shown that the series likes to play with reality, with the understanding that even the order we are shown episodes in is not chronologically correct. Episode 9 was the first major catalyst for this. It clearly clashes with the narrative we are receiving, and this seed of doubt revolves around Kino truly existing. Throughout this episode, we see moments of Kino's journey illustrated in a book which was written by an unknown man. This man instantly calls Kino by name. In the moment, you just assume there was a cut where she introduced herself, but in the bigger picture, things change. He could have known about her journey or even been the one to write it. What if what we are experiencing in-universe is merely a tale about Kino and not her actual adventure? She could truly be a sickly girl living vicariously through these pages, as this episode briefly alludes to. Or what if Kino actually did receive the surgery once she turned 12? What if this is the cause for her foggy memories? She does act without emotion, executing her tasks with precision and focus. And finally, we have the brief beginning and end to the series inside the harsh desert. This occurs even before the finale and is the earliest point in present Kino's journey, yet another section of the segmented timeline. A blinding white light erupts the second the series begins, leading to a calming downpour in the finale, beginning and end, yet the earliest point of her travels, providing even more confusion and doubt about what is currently occurring. The best part about the doubt provided is that all of these hypotheses could be true, or none of them could be. Kino's journey allows you to fill in the fable, to create your own headcanon. It trusts its audience and treats them as equals. It provides enough discrepancies for decisions to be made by the viewer while still holding a strong enough structure to keep things on track. You can keep reliving the series over and over, searching for a deeper understanding and an answer for all the doubt. And each time you trek the trail of the series, you will find new joy and content, eternally cycling the circle that is traveling, adventure, and life. Because Kino's journey truly was the destination.